Today we'll be picking up on part 2 of the Narcissism series. So if you haven't watched the first video, please go back and watch it. I'll put a link up here so that you can kind of like catch up with what we're talking about. So this part is whereby we're talking about how the tactics that a narcissist uses to manipulate you, to get you hooked, to get caught up in that vicious cycle that we spoke in the first video about. So the first tactic that narcissists are really good at is what we call gaslighting. Now I'm sure you've seen this term thrown around. It's a very common term, but just kind of like to make it easier for you to understand, gaslighting is where someone makes you doubt your reality. Simple as that. Somebody makes you doubt your reality. Like you're sure about something, but somebody makes you feel like, So a very good example I like to use is, for example, let's say you're dating somebody, you're in a romantic relationship with somebody, and then somebody who you're close with, a friend, a sister, let's say you're out somewhere, you're having a good time, and then this person kind of flirts with your partner. And in your heart of hearts, you feel like this person has crossed the line, you feel like this person is not right for it. So the next day you decide, okay, fine, let me have a conversation with this person. Hey, yesterday I felt like you really crossed the line a little bit. I felt like you were flirting with my partner. And then this person says, no, that didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, that did not happen. And in your heart of hearts, you're sure that it happened. So now later, what gaslighting does is that it makes you doubt yourself, you don't trust yourself, and then you don't stand up for yourself in the future because you feel like, all right, last time I stood up for myself, and it didn't really go anywhere. In fact, I feel like I was wrong for it. So you end up just taking a lot of crap because someone has made you doubt your sense of reality. The second thing that narcissists do is it's very close to gaslighting, and it's called projection. So projection is where a narcissist will refuse to take responsibility for their actions and then throw it back to you. So using the same example of somebody who has crossed the line with your partner, say for example you confront them, the same way you say, oh, I felt like yesterday you were flirting with my significant other, and then somebody says, no, I think you're the problem, I think you're insecure, I think, So now they have turned the table and you end up being the bad guy. Yeah? I feel like you know what I'm talking about. Somehow you leave the situation feeling like, wait, I'm the one who's been offended here, but somehow I'm the villain. So that's what projection does. And I hope you kind of get the difference between projection and gaslighting. The third thing that narcissists do, and they do so well, is called triangulation, and this one is very common in narcissistic parents. So the thing is, triangulation is basically where the narcissist drives a wedge between people. Because remember, the narcissist wants to be the center of attention. So they want people fighting for their attention. So say for example, a parent, usually what they'll do is that they'll pick a scapegoat and then they'll pick a golden child. So the scapegoat is the one who, they make one mistake, even if it's like not so big, and the punishment is that kind of punishment where the child is embarrassed and it's a harsh punishment. But then for the golden child, they make a mistake and it's like, tap on the wrist. And so the point is they're driving a wedge between these two children, and that feeds the narcissist because these kids now will always want to impress the parent. They always want to impress. And that's what narcissists do well. And they also like to do this between friends. So say for example, I'm a narcissistic friend, and I come and I tell you, oh, you remember my other friend, Aisha? Imagine she's so awesome, like she bought me a new pair of shoes. Then next week, imagine Aisha took me for lunch the other week. Imagine Aisha. So every time you're just kind of getting the feel like, Aisha is such a good friend. Then you start doubting yourself, am I not a good friend? Like, so now this kind of like creates a wedge, and you kind of like now start competing kind of low-key. So that's triangulation in some way. The last thing that narcissists do really well, there are very many tactics, but I just wanted to focus on these 4. The last thing that they do is called hoovering. So say for example, you leave a narcissist, you break up with them, or you leave them, or you even try to just distance yourself a bit. They do this thing called hoovering. Hoovering is where they just cannot respect your boundary. They don't know space, they do not, like they have no appreciation of personal space. They will hoover. They'll find a way of somehow becoming friends with your friends. kidogo kidogo you'll start seeing them at your workplace. I mean, like, they kind of just, you're not talking to them, but they're always there. Like, you can't seem to rid yourself of the narcissist, and that's what we call hoovering. So guys, if any of the tactics, if any of the situations I was describing feels like something you've been going through, chances are you are in a narcissistic relationship. So please stay tuned to the next video where I'll be talking to you guys about exactly what are the personality traits of a narcissist, and then the very end of the video will be giving you guys coping techniques on how to cope or to get out of a narcissistic abusive relationship. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe.